We're live right now. So, hey, welcome to tonight's leadership call. It is the 23rd of the 28 days in February. My name is Russ Field. I'm an administrator of this wonderful CFG co-op, and I've got my counterpart here, my brother from another mother, Mr. Joe Atkins from down in Dallas, Texas, one of my favorite places. Why? Because the food is awesome and it's always hot. So, Joe, why don't you take it away?
Okay, welcome everyone. I want to make a reminder, do not forget that we're going to have Super Saturday Gold Rush Blitz. It'll be for 3 hours. It'll start at 11 a.m. Eastern, 12 noon Eastern, and 1 p.m. Eastern. Invite as many people as you can on that call, and let's keep the momentum going. We welcome everyone tonight. We got a lot to cover. First thing we're going to do is we're going to play this little Steps to Success, a little 7.5-minute video that I put together. It kind of covers what the steps to success, and if you follow this religiously, you will be well on your way to having success in this little program. So let's go ahead and click the button. Guaranteed training. This is our 7 steps to success. Step 1, commit to working crowdfunding guaranteed for the next 6 months with quality attention participation. That means if you focus on crowdfunding guaranteed, you become a student, you learn everything you can about the program, review all the videos in the back office, you complete your goal sheets and share with the person who referred you to this program, and you continue to add prospect names to your contact call sheet, you will be a major success. Keep it simple. This is a simple, simplistic program that by just sharing videos, letting folks watch the videos, and in turn get their questions answered and get edified on a 3-way call, they will join, and once they become a silver contributor, you give them homework. Step 2, you go through some sort of training in the back office daily. You start a CG folder on your desktop computer, use Notepad or WordPad to take notes and watching these videos. When you bring somebody into the program, the first thing you do is have them get into their back office and you walk them through how to get training on the left side with all the videos, how to sign up for our social media, how to get training off our YouTube page, and how the back office works, and see if they have any questions. Their homework is to review all this information, which they can then duplicate and follow the process with everyone that they bring in. Step 3, you set up your social sites. Many of you are on Facebook, Instagram, etc., Twitter. You connect to CG social sites. We have these in our back office, our social media sites. You add names to your contact list. This will be a reoccurring theme that we will be teaching on a consistent basis. This allows you the opportunity to broaden your network and bring in more quality people and build depth in crowdfunding guaranteed. Step 4, document your daily, weekly, and monthly goals. Some of you do not have any goals. You've never set goals before in your life. I have a short, less than 14-minute video called Goal Setting 101 in the back office. Review this video, and during the review of this video, start setting a simple, attainable goal day after day. After 30 days, you will celebrate because you will start changing your subconscious mind, and in the process create new positive habits. This will allow you the opportunity to build upon this success and start setting more goals. Add names to your contact list. Become a leader and work the business efficiently. Keep track of members you bring in as they are your family. Just because you can go out and bring in a lot of people doesn't mean that they are duplicating the process. You must bring to the table a leadership quality, or have somebody above you that might be a more experienced leader talk to members of your team and make sure that they follow the process day after day. Share the video with your prospects. We have a 9-minute overview video for those of you that meet people that are experienced networkers or have built huge groups. Show them the 22-minute video, which has the 9-minute video and the 5-minute Fund Me to Infinity plan. If you do these things on a daily, consistent basis, you will start to build a business of substance. Let's go to step 5. Learn the 3-way calling techniques. Call your prospects using daily sharing process. Review the webinar schedule in the back office and start inviting and really add names to your contact list. We said this would be reoccurring. We're going to pound you into submission until you fully grasp and understand it. Sitting around daily doing nothing means that you are accomplishing nothing. We've asked that you got off the bench, turn off the TV, and participate. Those who have done this are seeing massive success. Step 6, call your prospects. Schedule more 3-way calls. Add more names to your contact list. Follow up, follow up, follow up. Daily, schedule more 3-way calls after they watch the videos. The timing might not be right, but since you have your contact list, if somebody turns you down, ask if their permission to call them back in a month and see if the timing might be right. There's things going on in people's lives, and they'll see how you're doing. And those of you that's been in what I call the Baskin-Robbins flavor of the week, go from program to program, you might have people you know that would be impressed if you stayed with a program for longer than 30 days. They might even gravitate towards you. Step 7, review your goals and weekly sheets with your upline coach. Daily, share the co-op opportunity with more prospects. Follow up with previous prospects. Add names to your contact list. Call your prospects. Text them. Email them. Schedule more 3-way calls. Understand that if you purchase leads, what you need to do if you're going to send them emails. If you purchase the V card, what you need to do to make sure that that's successful. If you get rapid funnel, what is needed to start dripping on people on a consistent basis. Help your team members schedule their private business launch webinar with their warm contacts. In other words, have them get as many people as they know, pick a day once a week, and have one of your leaders above you either do that call or invite them to an overview or a training program. If you follow all these 7 steps to success, then you will be a major success in crowdfunding guaranteed. Remember, we are worldwide. We have billions of people to talk to. Don't hesitate. Don't procrastinate. Make a fundamental choice today that you're going to give crowdfunding guaranteed a quality attention, participation that it deserves.
So, Joe, when you're starting a new person, you're launching them into whether it's the Fund Me or the Fund Me to Infinity plan. What type of time do you spend with those individuals to get them launched right? Or what would be the 3 steps that you do to help them out?
I try to be quick, but don't hurry. I use that motto. First thing I do is I try to explain to them what the expectation is of joining my group. Number 1, I expect you to, let's go over the back office. I cover the back office and tell them that the little red dots to the left-hand side are all videos, and that there's 22 minutes of total videos that they need to watch that video. Then I tell them that they need to review the calls that we have on a daily basis, whether they're overviews, whether they are leadership calls. I also make sure that they join our Crowdfunding Guaranteed Facebook page and show them our YouTube page, which has all of our videos, including the videos in different languages. Then I try to answer any questions that they have. The next thing I do is I try to touch base with them on the second day and see what they've been able to accomplish. And I just stay in contact with them. I have them then go to the steps to success and fill out their memory jogger list. This memory jogger list will help them start accumulating a name base of anywhere from 50 to 300 names. A lot of people have a warm base to where they try to contact as many people as they can in the first day. And we try to get them to watch the videos and tell them that I'll do 3 ways for them. Or if they can get a group together, I'll do a quick group call with several of their people. This will get them engaged and get them into the process of following this on a consistent basis and helping training them in the process. I also cover the fact that it's the $58 program covers both the Fund Me to getting involved and also Fund Me to Infinity. I also share with them my concept, which is the 85, 100, 95% program. So in other words, when somebody comes in for $29, if you take $58 and you divide it by 2, it's $29. So the first $29 goes towards getting them involved into the silver tier. 25 of that is taken and paid back into $12.50 contributions to 2 people that's qualified, and they're in the silver tier. That's an 85% payout or return. Then I say from that point forward, any contributions of people that they bring in, 100% of those contributions are paid out. 2 $12.50 for if they bring in 2 people, there will be 2 $12.50 contributions that go to them, 2 $12.50 contributions to the person that's qualified above them. Then on the back end, if they come in for the $58, then we sit here and we talk about the fact that the second $29 divided by 2 goes to the Fund Me to Infinity plan, of which $28 of that is returned to the field. So that is 95% that's returned to the field. The only qualification that you have to have is you have to refer 2. If you refer 2 people, you qualify to go through all the tiers of the Fund Me plan, and you qualify from that point forward to be able to have people who refer to can join the Fund Me to Infinity plan. So it's a 2, 4, 7 concept. You bring people in, you refer 2. Once you get to 4 people that are paying the Fund Me to Infinity plan, then that's a 20% matching coded contribution to you from the 4 people that you brought in. Once you bring in 7 people and they are in the Fund Me to Infinity plan, then you get matching contributions of 40%. So it's a real simple process. I go to people and say, listen, I have a program here that you refer to. If you get 4, you can earn 25% back to you for everybody that you bring in. If you have 7, you get, and also on the 4, you get paid to infinity. If you get 7 people, then you have 40% that you can get returned to you for the 7 people that you bring in. And in this process, the 2, 4, 7 is what I talk about, and it's a one-time out-of-pocket $58 cost. And out of that $58 out of pocket, we divide it into 2. And do you know of any company that returns 85% and then 100% in the middle and then 95% on the back end? And of course they're going to say no. And that should be enough for what, after they watch the video, that people start thinking about anybody that they brought in before. And one of the other things that I like to find out is if they have been an established networker before, how big of groups have they put together before and how much money have they made? Some people have been in networking, and over 85 to 90% of the networkers have never made any money. So I say, what's the most you've ever made in networking? And some people say, well, I've only made $500 a month. Well, that right there is the beginning of your first goal. We have to figure out a way to get you to $500 a month. So if they bring in, the first person that they bring in, they get a $12.50 return to them. You would be amazed at some of the people that's never made any money that gets excited over a $12.50 contribution made to them. Or if you're working this and it kind of falls down to where somebody else falls in underneath their outer tier, that they actually get $12.50 for somebody that they haven't even brought in. People will start to get excited. But to keep that excitement going, you must train them. This is a simple program to train. It's a simple program to get them to do homework. And it's a simple program of either $29 to come in or $58 and get people excited over the course of helping the masses. And this is the old type of program to where you roll up your sleeves and you try to contact people. And we have this with the rapid funnel. We have it with the B card. We have ways of generating leads and getting leads so you can talk to people. And it's not about selling anything. All it is sharing the information and then let them make a fundamental decision if they want to get involved, and a fundamental decision if they see value in working this program. And once we get all the other enhancements, and we're going to be announcing a lot more here tonight that we're going to be talking about, then this thing is getting ready to explode, and we're on a powder keg that's getting ready to where the explosion is going to take off, and we're going to start growing terrifically exponentially. And back to you, Russ.
Awesome. Thank you very much. What I'm going to do, just for time's sake, before I'm going to actually talk about the synergy between the Fund Me and the Fund Me to Infinity plan, because I want every single person on here to ultimately be a brand ambassador for, ultimately what we're putting together, why we're putting it together, because once you understand how these work together, it's over. You're probably not going to sleep tonight. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time on that. But before I do that, I'm just going to unmute an individual who I've never known before. I've heard of him. He's been a stalwart in the home-based business industry, a pillar of success, made millions and millions and millions of dollars, built teams into the high 600,000s to million person teams, more than once. He's been around for about 35, 40, maybe a little bit more years, but I don't want to age him too much because he might get angry at me. But I've had a chance to have some conversations with Kelton, and I have much respect for him. And I just wanted him to talk really quickly on why would an individual who's been so incredibly successful in this industry look at crowdfunding guaranteed. So Kelton, I'm going to unmute you now. If you want to give us a little bit of you, we'd love to have a little bit of you tonight, Kelton.
Thanks. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, well, I thought of one word while you were talking, and I threw everything else out the window. I guess my one word is reconciliation. I feel like this is reconciliation for all the companies and networking where you got friends that were left behind. And I don't know what I could say that is my favorite thing about this program. It got me out of retirement. I'm excited more so than anything I've ever seen. It's a revolutionary concept with the marriage of this crowdfunding and networking, and I don't know whether it's the 100% payout, the totally automated, the no auto ship, which equals no attrition. But I think one of the things I love the most is the symbiotic relationship that you guys have created. My hat is off to you. You have integrity. You have my respect. Creating a program where the average person actually can make some money. It's almost impossible not to at least make your money back in the program. Nobody gets hurt. And then the fact that donations come directly to us. I mean, you have a feeder program into my most favorite marketing plan ever. In 1980, I was #1 in the nation with a marketing plan, exactly what you're instituting with the Pay Me to Infinity. I understand it inside and out, and I couldn't sleep once I realized that's what y'all did, and did a perfected form of it. You perfected my favorite all-time marketing plan. And so, I've been on the advisory boards where you make decisions with the owners. And don't get me wrong, I love making money. It wasn't an unhappy thing. People say making a lot of money won't make you happy. I say liar, liar, pants on fire. You've never made any. It was more fun every time making the money. It didn't solve my problems, but it helped me work them out in style. But I loved it. But the two-edged sword was I had friends getting left behind. Here, nobody, and I mean nobody gets left behind. Just a little bit of help with anybody and they're gonna make some money, even on that silver level. Where I've had one gal make $200 something. She called me up, how'd I do this? You know, she hadn't even sponsored anybody, and she was cycling on the silver level, and then she got excited, start putting in people. I mean, you guys have created a program where I feel like I've died and gone to network marketing heaven. Really have.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the kind words. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in there and talk a little bit about that perfection that you were talking about, and how these work together, and a little bit of history on it. Press play here. Okay, so welcome to our Fund Me and Fund Me to Infinity plan. And it's really based on innovation. Like, you know, there's a lot of, I've been around in the industry for about 20 years now. I've been a behavioral modelist in the compensation plan side, been very fortunate and blessed to be introduced to amazing mentors, people like Kelton and other individuals who have really helped me become a dadpreneur. And that was my goal. When I left university, I played basketball at a very high level. And instead of going to Europe to play, I says, you know what, I'm going to get in business. And when I have kids, I'm going to be the dad who's at everything. And wow, I was able to do that for the last 17 years. My kids have not known me to be in a position to, you know, be in a job all the time, which is really, really cool because of the industry. Now, there's always been a love-hate, you know, relationship with the industry and different things that I've done. However, you know, teaming up with the administrative individuals in the co-op, a lot of us have built multiple times anywhere from 20 to 100,000 person teams. We've done pretty close to $1 billion in sales. And I think all of us have petitioned the ownership in an S, an L, an LLC, corporations that were run from the top down, going, you know, why can't we do this? We're starving out in the field. And the wonderful thing about being in the position that we are as administrators here is we build this together with you. So when people take a look at this for the first time, especially if they're successful entrepreneurs from home and they've had a modicum of success in building large teams, you know, they're going to look at a $25 out of $29 payout coming back to them, or up to $28 out of $29 on the Infinity side. They're going to go, that's interesting, because they're not used to that much money, where Joe was talking about the 85 to 195 coming back to them. It's just something that's really, it just doesn't happen very often. And the reason is because, remember, we're all in the field with you. So we're in the trenches, we're taking the bullets, we're digging the ditches, everything that you have to do, we have to do to be in a position to make this work, on top of, you know, the infrastructural development to make this scalable over time. So there's a lot of innovation that you've seen come into this. Now, I'm going to talk about the compensation plan innovations that we've made versus the innovations that we've made in the back office that many of you already know about. And if you don't, you can certainly go into some of the, the calls that we have in our community tool chest in the back office there, and familiarize yourself with those. So, of course, I'm going to show you some numbers on a calculator, and the world doesn't work like that. So it's, of course, for illustration purposes only. However, it does get the point across of what you need to do to put yourself in a position to be able to really hammer at this properly and create contributions that will absolutely, over time, very possibly based on your ability to be able to roll up your sleeves and work, knock this out of the park and change your life. So getting launched here, the most important thing when you take a look at it, as a qualified silver, what you need to do to go to the next tier in the Fund Me plan is you need to find 2 people, okay? Now, when you look at the Fund Me plan, the Fund Me plan is a cycler. Now, cycler is what they call a 2x2 cycler. So you get 2 and you help the person get 2 and you help that person get 2, and all of a sudden you filled up your tier, and you have an opportunity based on the automation we have to be able to take some of the contributions you have and put it back into the system, and so on and so forth, as you go from silver to gold to emerald to diamond to crown, and you start making in multiple tiers, and things are really fantastically exciting. That's a wonderful thing. Now, the thing that's a challenge with that, and what I wanted to do historically, is put that into perspective from a 10,000 foot view. Let's say we're flying over these compensation plans, or we're flying over the Fund Me plan, and we look at it, we say, you know what, the Fund Me plan's awesome, because for people who've never been in a business before from home, they've never been entrepreneurial, to get a couple people, well, it's pretty simple. It's not that hard. It's $29. It's something that everybody really can do. Even people who are in the unbanked. I have teams right now in the Philippines that are just busting at the seams. They're filling up restaurants, they're eating, they're sharing, and it's incredible. They send me pictures every day. I get so hungry watching these guys build, CFG. It's incredible. But the interesting thing about it is the fact that everybody has the opportunity to win. And that's really cool. And that's really the best thing about the Fund Me plan as a 2-bicycler. Now, what's the challenge with a 2-bicycler? And I like to deal with some transparency here. The challenge with the cycler is you've never really seen a cycler be successful over typically a year to 18 months. And the reason is that when you want to build a legacy program, the most important thing you can do is find Keltons and find Joes and find people like you who took your time out of a Thursday night to be a leader, to learn about what you need to do in order for you to move your business forward. So because without leadership, without steel sharpening steel, it's very hard to have a company that has an opportunity to be able to not just grow through a momentum phase, but every time that the company kind of slows down, to be able to push forward through that to the next level. Just like success, it's always peak to peak to peak to peak. And without leadership that has the ability to take the vision and the foresight of that company and get that into the masses, what happens is those companies generally die. Now, the thing is what do leaders like? And Kelton said it, leaders like money. It's a wonderful thing. Money really helps things that, you take 100% of your problems, throw some money at it, probably 98% of the problems that you have are going to go away. The 2% that actually mean anything are there, but now you have the time to be able to handle those problems, okay? Or those challenges in your life, what do you want to say? So the greatest thing about the Fund Me plan is it's really, really simple for people, but the challenge is that it only pays on 2 levels. Now, there is some compression and stuff like that in there when things happen or things don't happen. But at the end of the day, if you're a leader, you're looking at being in a position, looking at the Fund Me plan going, man, this is really exciting, but I'm going to have to put in so many people in width to get that kind of income that I want, where what I really want to do is I want to go down and help Bob and Sally and Frank and Sam and Leslie and Abel. I want to go down in, 13, 15, 25, 50 people in depth. And I want to tell this company story to those people. But the challenge is if I do that, what's going to happen is I'm going to start to lose income myself, and my family needs to eat as well. So the cool thing that we did is we said, you know what, when we started this, we knew and understood the challenges historically with a 2-bicycler. So what we did is we looked at different things, and with the team that we have here, we've been coding a lot of different compensation plans over many, many years. And so what we did is we sat down and we said, there's a very cool comp plan that has some challenges to it, but if we can take those challenges out and we could augment it, we can actually make it better, what would happen if we put these 2 together? And that's exactly what you have with the Fund Me and the Fund Me to Infinity plan. So the Fund Me plan is about, let's get started, let's get some contributions in right away. This is so exciting. And then all of a sudden the Infinity plan is, wow, this is really cool. If we just take a look at what the simple tenets are for this, we can have it so everything's always paid. Everyone's in a position where they never have to worry about their monthlies or their quarterlies or whatever it costs with respect to platform fees. We can have people earning to infinity, not just 20, but 40% on the coded bonuses that ultimately roll up through this really, really awesome plan. And the coolest thing about it is it's proprietary to CFG. We're the only people in the world that have it. And we put the both plans together to make them work. So for $58, now you're in a position to look at, now I can do both of these. And this is the best thing about it, is that when you look at the Fund Me plan, to get the gold, you got to put 2 silvers in anyways. So if you're going to focus on doing anything from day one, do you do it kind of haphazardly? Do you just kind of kick the tires? You go, you know what? I'm going to look in the mirror today. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to go give the devil a smack in the face. I'm going to go, my feet are on fire, man. Like you should see Joe. Joe just go every day. I wake up at 6. I work till 1. I'm sleeping 5 hours a night, man. I'm just going for this. I love this stuff. Because what happens is that if you go at a business with all your gusto, and you only need 2 to go from silver to gold in the Fund Me plan, Well, the thing with the Fund Me to Infinity plan, I'm going to show you the math in this in a second. Just by having a couple people pay $58 in the Infinity plan, you know what that means? It means that as long as they're paying that month over month for the next 3 months, you're going to have everything paid for with extra contributions in your wallet, just by getting 2, because we know that the average person in this industry usually gets about 2.8 to 2.9. So looking at this, let's just take a look at the Fund Me to Infinity calculator. So in the back office, near the bottom 1/3 of your menu system on the left side, you take a look and let's see personal referrals. Now, no one's referring anyone. It's just their first generations. Now, of course, the Fund Me to Infinity plan is $29 every 30 days. Well, holy moly, $29 every 30 days. Now, remember this. We're only going to put you in a position to take this out of your credit card once. So whether you're a person who's been here for a while and you haven't upgraded to Infinity, well, now is the time to do it. Go in your back office. It's right underneath the black toolbar that's got your URL in it. Click on upgrade, pay with your BitPay or pay with your credit card, and you're good to go in your Infinity. If you're a person who's coming in for the first time, this is the first time you're seeing it, come in at $58, and what's going to happen is you're only going to have to pay once out of your credit card, because I know that if you're serious about making the contributions for the projects that are near and dear to your heart, what are you going to do? You're going to at least get 2 people in at the Infinity side at $58. And what's going to happen? Look at this. You get 2 people in based on the code of contributions. You're going to make $43. Now think about this, $43 is what? Let's look at the math on the left-hand side here. We got $43. Now the monthly nut or the monthly cog or the monthly fixed cost of running this platform for the Infinity is $29. Now out of the 29, we pay up to 28, but this is really cool. If you put in just 2 people and have them paying month over month, you're gonna make $14 over the cost of the actual platform. Just get 2, just like you were with the Fund Me plan. It's exactly the same, except instead of 29, it's 58. But the reason is when you tell people, say, look, do you want to be in a position to make bonuses or contributions on 2 levels, or do you want to make contributions on Infinity? Is that worth an extra $29 for you, do you think? That's a great qualifying question. What's a qualifying question? It's something that you ask people to see what is the reason that they are or are not making a decision to be able to move forward and launch with you. But looking at this, Infinity's paid for. Then what happens? Well, you've got an extra $14. Well, as your 2 people are doing what you're doing and they're putting in people and so on and so forth, you got your 2 people paid. Well, over three cycles of 28 days, which is about 90 days, what's going to come up? Your Fund Me plan is going to come up. And you know where that's going to get taken? It's going to taken out of there, because just by having 2 people the Infinity plan, you're going to have an extra $42 in there, which is much more than the 29. So even if you came into this and you just got 2, and that's all it was for 3 months, everything that you need is paid for. There's nothing you have to worry about it. So what it does is, just like Kelton was saying, it takes away the excuse of people going, oh, I can't afford it. Because if you come into this now and you say, I can't afford $58, what we need to do is we need to expand the level of belief in yourself. We need to expand the level of what you want to accomplish with respect to your project. And what we need to do is we need to be in a position to help you understand how to build a list, how to figure out who the influencers are, how to do a 72-hour launch, what to say and why you're saying what you're saying, which we have all covered in the back office, as well as our trainings, because we know that if we focus on this Infinity plan and the caveats of that, the Fund Me plan is going to pay way more than we could ever imagine. Let's just see that right now. Okay, so here we got 4. I call this the keystone. The keystone, when you look at a Roman arch and you see that big stone that's right in the middle, that big stone's there for a reason. What it's actually doing is it's based on pressure and stuff, it's actually holding the rest of the arch up. But looking at this, if you get 4 personal referrals, 4 is a big number in this. Why is it? It's a big number because at 4, what happens is you have an opportunity on the Infinity side to be able to earn to Infinity of the coded bonuses that come up to you, and you get a 20% match at the same time. So 4 is very, very important. So from now on, what we're going to do is we're going to make the assumption that you're a business person, that you're an entrepreneur. And as a business person and an entrepreneur, what are you going to do? what you're going to do, and this is not pie in the sky stuff, guys. I'm going to keep these numbers really, really, really low key, because I respect every person who's in here, not to do any sort of hyperbole. I'm not that type of, people who know me know I'm not that type of person. But getting 4, what happens is we want your referrals average to be 4, because if you're going to have an opportunity to earn to infinity, and you're going to put someone in here, aren't you going to do your darndest to be able to help them get 4 as well, so that they can get that 20% match? I would think that you're all good people, and I think that your intention in coming in isn't only to knock it out of the park for your family, but to be able to bless and help those individuals, to not leave them behind, which is exactly what Kelton said. And this is why this is so simple, right? Get 2, all your stuff's paid for. Get a couple extra 2, now you have that infinity opportunity. And look at this. What's happening is you're now at $163 a month. Well, $163 a month will make a difference for some of you. Who is that really going to make a difference for? You're going to have people who are in your business in Africa, parts of Southeast Asia, parts of Eastern Europe, there's 2.5 billion people in the world who are hungry. They're hungry for what we have. They're hungry for something that is only charged one time. They have massive communities that can pool together their money to come in at $58. That's 5 families putting in $10, or $12 each. They can afford that. And then what happens is, just because they've done a little work and they've got, some, other community groups in there, they're looking at $163 a month. Well, $163 US to some people in places in the world where a US dollar is worth anywhere from 29 to, $70, or in Venezuela where it's, I don't know what it is right now, but it's insane. Looking at that, this is a very, very significant number here, and it's only $163. So a lot of us in the West look at that and go, yeah, you know what, that's, in Vancouver, that's basically if I went to a gas station and I smelt the gas fumes, that would be about $160, but everywhere else, that's a massive amount of money for people. Now look at this. This is interesting. Now this is only going down 2 generations, and that's 20 members. So how many times can you help your teams duplicate a 4x4? Here, let's go get 4 and help you do 4. Now this is the cool thing. When you're doing this on the infinity side, what's going to happen on your FundMe side? Because most people, what they're doing is they're concentrating on a 2x2 because it's a 2x2 cycler. But how much more spillover is there going to be if we're focusing everybody on the FundMe to infinity side, saying, hey, let's not get 2, let's get 4. Your success targets are going to fill up way faster, and you're going to make way more levels. And the people who maybe haven't done anything yet, maybe they haven't gotten their 2 and they're just kind of in there because other people are doing this, the spillover is going to be great for them. They're going to start making the money like Kelton said of that lady. And what's going to happen? They're going to be sitting there going, oh my gosh, I'm actually making money at this. I'm excited. I got to go do something. This is amazing, because there's nothing else in the world like this. It doesn't exist. We're the only player in town. And you know what? You can go to a whole bunch of different companies, and there's great companies out there. Don't get me wrong. Wonderful companies. And I hope you use this as a feeder program for a lot of the great companies out there. But I'm telling you something. When it comes to crowdfunding, there's a lot of people with hype and hyperbole, and then there's us who are walking the walk. So you can take a look what people are saying, but you better look at where their feet are going and what they're doing, because it's the action which ultimately is going to put you in a position to have a legacy company, which is going to change your family's financial future. So let's move on here. So if you got 4, don't you think you could do a little bit more and get at least 7? Now, I'm not going to talk about 7 right now. I'm going to talk about 8, just because I put 8 in the variable here. It's just double a 4, but it's 1 more than 7. At 7, you get a 40% match. So look at this. Now you're sitting there with 8. Now, what's going to happen if you get 8 and you go back to your people who all have 4 and you say, hey guys, you know what? Why don't we do a little bit of extra work? Let's run some contests. Let's use our rapid funnel or V card. We got our leads and all that kind of stuff. We got some extra stuff we're working on right now, but let's start doing some things and getting some events together. And next thing you know, what happens is you guys all start doing 4 and 6 and 8. What is going to happen to your FundMe at that point? Your FundMe is going to earn 2, 3, 4 times as much contributions as it would if you're just focusing on 2. So you notice how these things work together. It's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen is how this works together. And looking at that, we're just going down 2 levels here. And this is interesting. Now you have 40 members. Now I know there's people who are listening in here, and you look at 40 members, you're like, man, I put in 40 personals in a day in something, or man, I could put 40 people in a month, and an extra $500 would make a difference. Well, I'll tell you what, an extra $524 in the West, in the Western Hemisphere, will solve 80% of all people who are in the process of going insolvent, of going bankrupt. 80% of all bankruptcies are solved between $300 and $500. So you now have a solution to that. No, I love this $500 number. What I did today in all our chats and yesterday is I got all of our people to focus on a project that was about $500. And I said, let's write the project down and let's figure out a project about that price, because let's focus on this, because we all want people to start focusing on, this 8, 4, and 2. And then what happens is I'm like, let's take a picture of what that project's going to be, so that what you can do is it's at the front of your mind, so that when you're out there dealing with people, you're talking about all the time. But this is interesting. Once you get 70, you get the 40% match. Now, this is interesting. You see these coded bonuses where it says coded members, coded contributions. Now, without getting too technical, this is the part that Kelton said that we did that absolutely blew his mind. And when I talked to him about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, he was like, oh my gosh, I thought about this about 10, 15, or 20 years ago, or whatever it was. And we started having a chuckle, because we did something in a comp plan that's been around for a long time that really, really needed an overhaul. So what we do is this, is every Sunday night at 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the computer goes in and it basically rebuilds the genie, for lack of a better words. What the genie is the genealogy, the whole genealogy. So if you're someone who came into this and for whatever reason you didn't do the infinity plan, but people underneath you did, you know what's going to happen? If you upgrade this week, what's going to happen is it's going to go in on Sunday night, which is in about the next, 72 hours, and it's going to find you because you upgraded, and it's going to put you back in place. You didn't lose your team because you haven't upgraded. So if you're one of those people sitting there going, man, should I upgrade? Should I not upgrade it? Should people get in this right away? Well, of course they should get in this right away, because it makes sense to, if you're going to be in a position to pitch something, pitch it once, right? That's just effective business. But outside of that, if you're a person for whatever reason that you didn't, upgrade to the infinity plan, that's okay. We're not in a position, as the administrators, to take that away from you. We're not a top-down network marketing company that if you don't do this, you're going to lose all of this, blah, 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 blah. No, we're going to put you back in the space in front of your team where you belong, because that's how you came in. So don't be worried about that. So that's something that's really, really cool. And it's also innovative that we wanted to keep that in there for you, because we're very forgiving. But what happens is this, and this is why it makes so much sense, is that as this grows, notice the referrals average is 4. Why do we say 4? Because the first 2 people who are paying are always going to be in a position to pay for your platform fees. The next person and the person after that, every single week, they're going to go up and down, kind of like a conga line. It's going to get shared. And what's going to happen is that the long and short of it is that when you have people who have more than 2 people enrolled, they got 3 and they got 4, they're going to start to have their coded contributions shared within the system up. And that's where the coded members come from. So the most important thing you can understand is that if you focus on 4 and you focus on 8, what's going to happen is those coded members are going to go from 6 to 12 to 24 to 48, and it's just going to keep going and going and going. So looking at this, let's just go to the next level here. Okay, so we have an 8, 4, and 5. Look at this, an extra $73,000 a month. Now there's about 2,700 people. There's people on this call have put 1 million people in their teams before, and I guarantee you when they built those teams, they were probably having $200 to about $1,000 product with an extra $80 to about $120 a month in some sort of standing order. Remember, with this, as long as you have your 2, what's going to happen is it's always going to come out of your wallet. And the thing is, we're never going to ding your card again. That's not in the books. We're not doing it. We haven't set up the business like that. We're not concerned about that, because we know that each and every one of you will take responsibility for where you want to go, and you'll put yourself in a position to get your 2 people at the infinity level, because it makes so much darn sense. Because why wouldn't you, within one program, put yourself in a position to be able to earn or double dip, if you want to call it that, or have multiple streams of income by doing pretty much exactly the same thing. It's just absolutely brilliant. So looking at that, here you go, an extra $73,000 a year. And look at this. You want to make a doctor's salary, an extra 4,000 people. You know, go put in 12 people, have them put in 4, you're down 5 levels, and all of a sudden you're sitting here. There's no front end load. There's no $500 to $1,000 that's going to increase. You know, most people make $100,000 in this industry. Typically what they do is they have organizations that are a lot larger than this, but what happens is most of those organizations have come in at about a $200 to $1,000 front end load, and then they usually have about anywhere from a $50 to a $120 you know, auto ship, you know, for some sort of product or whatever it is. With respect to this is true ongoing income if you just take a look and keep it really, really simple. So when people ask me about, you know, okay, well, what's the compensation plan, Russ? What is it here? What's the Fund Me plan and the Infinity plan? Can you tell me how it goes? And I'm like, okay, well, first of all, we're global. So when you think about global, think about 24/7. Right? Because we're open 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Why? Because we're funding people, we're funding me, we're funding you 200, you know, 24/7. But the coolest thing is this is our comp plan. This is the easiest comp plan. And if everyone asks you, well, how do you make money in that? Simply say this. There's 2 different platforms that are $58 one time. And the coolest thing about this is they work together, and this is how they work. You get 2 people, it allows you to be able to grow in the one, but what it does is by coming in with the 2, it's a 2 bicycler. The other one, what happens, it pays to infinity. And because it pays to infinity, when you get 4, it's a 20% override, and when you get 7, it's a 40% override. So what we're doing is we're funding people 24/7. Not just globally because of what that means, but also it's actually geared into the comp plan. So it's a really, really kind of neat thing with respect to that. So what I wanted to do tonight is get you to hopefully understand how these work together, what the synergy is, to see the big picture. So what is your call to action? What do you need to do outside of welcoming more people in the community? Because every single one of you on this call are leaders. What you need to do, A, is if you haven't upgraded to infinity, get it done. It's 29 bucks, okay? Don't eat lattes or drink lattes for the next 6 days, okay? You'll have it covered there. They think lattes are actually more expensive than that, but I don't know, I don't drink coffee. So that's number 1. Number 2, you need to get your team who's been in this for a little bit of time, who has no idea what is going on here because maybe they've been just a little bit discombobulated. You need to bring them back in the fold, and you need to get them on the phone with us. You need to get them to watch this. You know, this video will be on YouTube and in the back office in the tool chest within the next 12 hours. And you need to send this video out to them and say, look, you need to watch this video because this is the most amazing thing that I've ever seen, what these guys are doing. So and I think those are really the 2 call to actions. And then what you're going to do is you're going to blow it out, you know, between tonight, tomorrow, and you're going to bring them into Saturday, 11, 12, and 1. And Joe will be knocking out of the park. Unfortunately, I'm gone for the weekend. My kids have volleyball tournaments again, so I won't be able to partake in those. But I'm sure, you know, some other people might help out with respect to those as well. So what I want to do is I wanted to do that. Now, before we get into any questions, so I know we're going to have questions, I wanted to give you some really amazing news because we've been waiting for it for, oh my gosh, way too long. Joe and I were pulling our hair out for like the last 3 weeks. But we finally were able to get the MOU today for the money out solution, the automated money out solution with the credit card program. You know, the credit card program will be coming later, but we will have the wallet and everything going on. So Monday, we're sitting down with the owners of the program. We're signing the MOU on Monday. Everything was hashed out finally tonight because we got the MOU today finally. And then it's going to take, based on what they said, because there's a lot of learning that our coding team is going to have to do because it's quite the amazing system. But it's going to take about 10 to 15 days, and then we'll have a fully automated payout wallet system to any credit card globally that you have. Eventually, the branded cards for us will come. That usually takes about anywhere from 60 to 90 days after that. But we'll have a solution for you really within the next couple of weeks You know, it just so you know, we've been doing everything we could to nail these guys down and get it done ever since really December 15th was the first time we talked to them. And it's just been one of those things. It's been a grueling negotiation, but we got what we want. Everybody's happy, and Monday is D-Day for that, which I'm so excited for. I'm excited for Mark, because Mark's been, our CFO's been working his tail off 19 hours a day because of PayPal and all these other things, you know, getting you guys your payments manually. So big congratulations and kudos for Mark for being an absolute stud and getting that all handled. He's a one-man wrecking crew on the payment side. Holy smackers. But you know what? He's getting tired. So we just dropped the hammer on these guys this week, and we said, look, we're doing the MOU. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So we're super excited about that. And that's going to be available for people in Nigeria, Jamaica, pretty much everywhere outside of where the U.S. is bombing. So I think we're going to be pretty covered, you know, for the most part throughout the world. That was a terrible thing for me to say, but I'm Canadian. I can say those things once in a while. So outside of that, what else do we got going on there, Joe? Here, let me unmute Joe, and we can just handle some questions here. Just give me a second. Participation. Joe, unmute. Let me just do this. Okay, that helps me out here. Okay, Joe. Oh yeah, I just unmuted you, Joe, if you're there. One of the cool things about this payout system, we can do everything payouts and pay-ins in Bitcoin as well without going BitPay. It's direct to the wallet, which is really, really cool. So that'll be something that I know a lot of people who are unbanked are going to absolutely love, and it's going to blow us up. Okay, so while we're waiting for that, you know, you can unmute yourself, Joe. Let me just find my questions here. Where'd they go? Okay. True, it explodes. Okay, Bear's just going crazy over there. Watch out. Watch out there over the States there. The Canadian Bear is going crazy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to unmute this, and you guys can let's ask some questions here. You know, hey Kelton, I still have you here. Do you want to add anything with respect to what I just went over there?
Well, have you got me unmuted?
I've got you unmuted, right? I just unmuted you.
Yeah, because the whole time when I was working this program before, we'd look at doubling a penny every day for 31 days. When my son was 16 years old, he didn't ask me what I do for a living. I told him I teach people to multiply their incomes, and he didn't understand. I talk about compound interest, and Albert Einstein said compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. I still didn't understand. So we made a deal. He wanted a truck real bad, and I said, I'm gonna give you $10,000 a day, and we're gonna add it up every day. We're gonna add, just like working for somebody else, you're getting paid a certain amount, and that's what you get. And then you don't ever ask me for anything else. You're gonna have 310,000, but you give me a penny, and start off with 2 pennies and double it every day for 31 days. And he was so excited. He made me shake hands. He made me promise I was a man of my word. At 16, they know more than they'll ever know, you know. But anyway, we got my pad out and started doubling the penny. In 31 days, he owed me over $21 million. Well, what I love about,
I know about that one, how that works.
is that we're doubling pennies. We're doubling $5 bills or $20 bills. Gate and coding, you got 20 in the match, is that right? And
yeah,
you got $20 in the code, which goes to infinity. It doesn't stop in 31 days. You can double your money to the bottom of the group, but in all the other multi-level marketing companies, they pay a small percentage, 1 or 2% down here. But that's going to be your biggest money, because that's where the people start multiplying. Here, you're putting a big percentage, multiplying a big percentage. Wow. It's blowing my mind how much money could be made. Just give me about 6 months.
Good times. I love it.
Hey, Bear here.
Hey, Bear. Thanks,
yeah,
Cal.
it's phenomenal. You know my feelings about it, Ross. This journey started for me in 2016 when I was introduced to Dr. Needham and Mark, our CFO, as well, because the first time I heard about this concept of a cooperative was in 2016. and heard it from one of the most world-renowned guys. That's Dr. Needham, folks. He's got 2 PhDs, and
Hey,
and
Bear,
again,
Bear,
just phenomenal.
I don't want to cut you off right now, Bear. Sorry about that, but I want to keep this specifically to the comp plan.
It's off the chart. It is. It's
Thanks, brother.
truly, as you know, it's truly, guys, if you just take the time, It's all it is. Make a commitment to time, and you'll do it, because it's for me. I can work, like you said earlier, Russ, down deep. You're compensated for those people who want to go to work. Folks, take advantage of it. You got great leadership inside a co-op. I love it. Keto, it's phenomenal.
Okay, Cornelius asked, is there going to be a PowerPoint available for home meetings or hotel meetings? No. Now, the reason is that, you know, I was very fortunate to be in a company that was in Canada, the US about 7 years ago. And it was the first time I ever saw this done. Is what they did is they did a homogeneous approach to their overview. And what that meant is when the actual owner of the company came to a city to do an overview, he didn't have any slides. He just pressed play on a video. And what happened is we looked at that at first. We said, well, this is just kind of odd because we weren't used to it. Now, we grew teams of 20,000 plus people in every state and province within about 18 months, and we're doing about $1 million a month in sales. Now, the reason why we grew so much is that what it did is it took all of the potential challenges with leadership ego right out with respect to the overview, because the overview was company done, and because it was top down. The only thing that matters when you're doing an overview is the people sitting in the seats. And what really matters is them going, well, what did Cornelius do? Well, he stood up and he introduced this video. He used his index finger to press play. We watched the video, and a couple people came up, told their story, their testimonial, had a couple questions. The people who didn't know what was going on, didn't care about anything, they left. The other people signed up and they got trained. Now, if we can develop a system globally like that, that is homogeneous from the top down, what it means, because we do have a product that is in the financial realm, that we never have to worry about writing a USI letter. You know, a USI letter is a letter that the owners of USI wrote to their American people because the Americans were doing a whole bunch of stuff they shouldn't have been on social media, which is actually unacceptable by the people who ran USI. That was a cop-out. They knew exactly what was going on. They were just collecting people's monies and getting rich. That is not what is happening here. Our goal is to create something that we're going to be around for a long time, and we want to make sure a couple things are going to be right. Number one, we want to make sure what people are saying is going to be correct, and the simplest way to do that is with a video. Number two, we want to make sure that the approach and what is said and how it's said, with the intention and the vision of the company, is always going to be prevalent in the company itself. And I'll give you an example. You know, recently we had a team that we just we asked them to. We basically got, you know, they had to go because they were doing something that was going against everything that in the terms and conditions, and we didn't have a choice. We tried to keep them, we did everything we could to keep them, but at the end of the day, they wanted to do something different. And in order to keep the golden goose that lays the golden eggs, there was 14,500 people we had to think about, and you know, at the end of the day, they had to go. So it's one of those things that it's very, very important that we have a homogeneous message, and it's very important for the people who are sending people to different areas that if the message is the same, what's going to happen is there's none of this my team is better than your team crap. We're all in this together. We all need to help each other as we grow this globally. We're already in 21 languages, so we have the ability to do that. Now there will be people who are from the UK with a UK accent who are going to do the video. There's going to be Joe, probably Mark, Kelton, myself, maybe Greg Stewart. So we're going to have 6 or 7 of the same video done by different people who have different, different levels of how they communicate with people. whether they're people who are fast talkers or whether people are slow talkers, whether people are, the way they talk is something that everybody listens, or they're one of those people that they're super excited. Whatever it is, we're going to have those covered so you can go in there when you're doing an overview and you can simply press play on that video. Now, the training side of it, you can watch a video, or because you're a leader, you can do the training. So the training is a 4-pager that we have. We've already developed it, and you can simply, it's how to go gold in 7 days. And you can go in there, and if you want your time to shine, the time to shine is in the training side, but the pitch is always going to be homogeneous. It's always going to be the same. So I hope I answered that question for you, Cornelius. Okay, no problem. Okay. Yeah, we want to be around for a long time. And if we want to do that, we got to put ourselves in a position that, no one is ever going to be hurt. So with that, you know what? We don't have any more questions. I think Joe and Kelton, we did a good job here today. I think people are starting to understand the importance that if you focus on the infinity side, because you're going to build a business, it's going to be big, there's going to be a lot of people in it. So why not make money to infinity versus just the first 2 levels? So with that, I'd like to thank and appreciate everybody who came tonight and spent your time away from your family. Your family's the most important thing that you have. And go and grow. We'll see you on Saturday, 11, 12, and 1 Eastern Saturday, and it's in your back office, ready to go. And we got some, just so you guys know, we're in the process of rebuilding all of the videos right now. We're doing it as fast as we can. So once those videos are done, I'm hoping, knock on wood, we can get at least the overviews done for next week. So stay tuned, get your people into this. Let's rock and roll. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.